Welcome back, everybody. Shadow Moose here, bringing you part two of Louis Cat Orze, Mystery of the Queen's Necklace. I'm going to be doing these like probably every 3 days, maybe 4 days. Um, Tonight we're going to try and do two parts: the Queen's apartment and the Hall of Mirrors. So without any further interruptions, let's go ahead and begin. Bringing in the food.
Brains, Your Highness.
Oh, there's Louis.
The princess is performing her least favorite royal duty, dining in the public. The cooks prepare an endless array of dishes, and the footman carries the food to the bedroom where the ceremony takes place. And all of it for one little girl who doesn't like to eat. But I do. And with a meal like this, there are plenty of leftovers. So, if you will excuse me.
Yes, we've read this one. A walk in the Versailles Gardens yesterday, at the invitation of the Chevalier de Lorraine, confirmed all reports that it is truly a place of wondrous sights. There were also things to wonder about, such as the appearance of our overfed monk. I'm betting that's this guy. Who visited can't read that. I was speaking with the guide, I guess. Xavier was visibly irritated by the interruption, but spoke with him anyway. And I overheard several words that puzzled me. One of them was treason. The disappearance of the necklace has created I don't know, a fear, inferior. I can't read that. Public dining of the new princess. I don't know, whoever wrote this was probably an alcoholic and going through withdrawal or something, because it's all shaky and scribbling. But what we do know is that the monk knows something. So this guy is somehow, I guess, involved. He probably had nothing to do with it, like going missing, but he knows something about it. Sides here. Gold plate, silver goblets. Able to watch her eat midday. Blah, blah, blah. The goblins tapestries. Alright, those are like the tapestries in the background. That's the factory that made them. They're like pretty famous.
Isn't she sweet? Isn't she just adorable? It's a shame Marie isn't here to see it.
If you ask me, there's only one reason Marie would have missed it. She must have begun her lying in.
Let's hope that this time the midwife knows what she's doing. Sometimes a body needs someone who knows more than just how to baptize the little angel.
That's true, Rex.
Oh.
Ooh.
Brains. I love brains.
Well, I hear that the Duke of Burgundy is not so pleased with his upcoming marriage.
What does he know? He's a child. She's a child. They'll do what they're told.
And one day, they'll be in charge. That's when they get their revenge.
Ooh.
I am the Princess Mary Adelade of Savoy. The King of France wanted me to marry his grandson, and the Emperor of Austria wanted me to marry his son. Sometimes I feel more like a prize in a contest than a real person. I do like it here at Versailles, and I find I can always make the king laugh. That is a greater accomplishment than you might think, and I'm beginning to believe it is a talent that will serve me well.
Smart girl. Very smart girl.
You must learn to get along without your fork. The king is adamant. He won't have the Italian customs here. And we must remember the etiquette. Don't say thank you, and don't speak to everyone who smiles at you. There is much to learn, Princess. The days are too short.
I hate this. I'm not even hungry. I want my fork back, and I won't eat brains.
You must learn to get along without your fork. The king is adamant. He won't have the
Whoops.
Italian customs here. And we must remember the etiquette. Don't say thank you, and don't speak to everyone who smiles at you. There is much to learn, Princess. The days are too short.
I hate this. I'm not even hungry. I want my fork back, and I won't eat brains.
I am Madame de Lude. Whether one has money or not, there is still a fortune to be made when appointed Dame d'honneur to the king's favorite young princess. It gives me a tidy income, and it makes me one of the most important people at court. Of course, the Princess Mary Adelade can be a trial. But all things considered, I do believe it is worth it.
Okay, so service is basically like a corpse. Yeah, that's cream puffs glued together with maple syrup, which is this thing right here. Fresh grapes. Oh, just like that. Ah, okay. Yeah, this is the Goblin's factory I mentioned. Yeah, they made all the tapestries for the castle. Or the, oh yeah, I guess it, or the mansion, or whatever. The stench, dear cousin. You would not believe I managed to to survive the I don't know what that says, but it's the horrible carriage ride through the hideously filthy street. They're talking about Paris, because Paris back then, I know for a fact, you could smell the stink from that city from like 3 or 4 miles out. And they had these perfumed gloves, which is what I clicked on, I guess. And basically, you would soak a glove in perfume, and when you rode through the city, you would hold it to your face. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's all we got in this one. So let's go check out the next.
I'm so hungry, and there's so much food. Surely no one will notice if,
My God, he has a knife! Odds! Arrest this man! Seize him!
The priest had a knife.
Okay, so in that one, what we kind of found out is that monk knows something. So that's a guy to pay attention to. That's the main thing we took away from that. Alright, let's go to the Hall of Mirrors. This place is filled with people and gossip and little treasures, but you must have the cat. 150 bucks.
Phew. This is the busiest thoroughfare in all of Versailles, and if a cat is not careful, it can end up underfoot. In the case of Liselot, the substantial woman in green, it is a pretty big foot, n'est-ce pas? Liselot is a German princess married to Monsieur the King's brother. This very important lady is addressed with great respect as simply Madame. If I may give you a little warning, mon ami, like all busy thoroughfares, there are thieves and pickpockets about. If someone bumps into you, or if you bump into someone else, you may expect the worst.
I am Elizabeth Charlotte von der Folz, called Liselot. I came to France from the Palatinate to become the second wife of Philippe d'Orléans, the king's brother. I am in every way a large woman. I cut a wide path, and few dare cross me. I even tell the king what I think. Fancy that.
Brave woman.
Thief! I have been robbed!
Uh-oh.
Catch that thief!
You have done it now.
Uh-oh.
You are accused of being a thief and you are being taken to the Bastille. I am so embarrassed for you. Justice here is a bit different than the system to which you may be accustomed. Not that I think you have spent a lot of time in prison, but you probably think that you are innocent until proven guilty. Not here, mon ami. Here, they assume that if you weren't guilty of something, you would never have been arrested in the first place. I will go to the authorities on your behalf. In the meantime, good luck.
No. Well, this is gonna suck. Huh. It's funny. Put a verse of Dante's Inferno in here.
You think you are here by mistake? So does everybody else. You think you have been unjustly accused. It makes no difference. The point is that you are here, and it is likely that you will never leave until they carry you out and dump your body in a pit. There are many ways you can land in this place. Murder, robbery, of course, deserting from the army. You can fail to pay your debts or your taxes. So, what did I do? Salt. I was smuggling and was caught by the Marshals. The laws about salt, they are so ridiculous that even the authorities ignore them when they can. And then suddenly I was arrested, put to torture, tried, convicted, and here I lie. At least now I have you to keep me company until they drag you away to be interrogated.
Oof.
I am one of the guilty ones. I knew the risks and took my chances. I lost. You say you are innocent, but you will probably lose too. I suggest you look around for a means of escape.
Lovely. Huh. Who is this guy? Hmm. Ah,
Good news, my friend. We may have found a way out for you. The problem is, they think you are trying to steal from Lieselot's lady. I know that you are simply doing your job and investigating a crime. So, what I must do is prove to the authorities that you are, in fact, an investigator.
ooh.
A good one. So, you answer my
My
questions.
knowledge of
You get
history will
4
come into
right
play.
answers, and you are out of this hellhole and back on the job.
It's known as the Sun King. The Princess Mary Adelaide was brought from Savoy in order to marry who? The Duke of Burgundy. The King's Rising ceremony. This was part 1 of my videos. And you would know this. It's called the Royal Lever. The Queen's necklace was last worn by I believe it was the King's late wife. No, it's not. It must have been his mother. France's main rival for control of North America was England.
Congratulations, you have done it. Now, cherchez the jewels.
Are you certain you are offering Madame your best price?
It is Point de France, my lady, the finest made. I sold several yards to the Duc de Maine just this morning. The Duke uses it to trim his handkerchiefs.
He says it is Point de France, the finest made. He sold several yards to the Duc de Maine just this morning. The Duke uses it to trim his handkerchiefs.
Tell the Duke off. We didn't question the quality, we questioned the cost. I don't give 2 figs for what the Duc de Maine buys or how he uses it.
I am a lace vendor, and my life is not easy. I also deal in fabrics, and what with tariffs and protections, it is difficult to supply what my customers need.
I apologize if you can hear me chewing right now. I like chewing on ice.
I am a lace vendor, and my life is not easy. I also deal in fabrics, and what with tariffs and protections, it is difficult to supply what my customers need. De Foix is strutting like a peacock. First officer of the carriage horse. An enormous salary and no work. The ideal position.
Such glory comes at a price. It could cost 1,000,000 livres, an amount not easily come by even for one as clever as De Foix.
There's no reason to believe the monk meant the princess any harm. At any rate, I hear the knife was minuscule.
But what if the monk is one of the many who would be delighted to see this marriage never take place? And I heard it was a dagger. A big one.
Pardon me for saying so, my lords, but I have it on good authority. My cousin's wife's sister heard it from someone who saw the whole thing. It was a sword.
Out of all the wonders of Versailles, their sister. The place I find most magnificent is the Hall of Mirrors. The king wanted a royal reception, adorned the famous architect, and ordered Jules Menard to design it. Can you imagine the ceiling? It was over 40 feet high. That's a pretty big roof.
Catatok has served as my guide in the wilderness and has fought at my side in many a battle against the English. I consider him a true Frenchman.
I am honored, monsieur. The Huron know King Louis is our friend.
I hear the king was most impressed by the Indians' mastery of the French tongue. I would think the prospect of a new world filled with such loyal subjects should sway his majesty to your cause. Stranger things have happened.
I am Pierre Lemoine d'Iberville, a French-Canadian naval officer and colonizer. I led 5 forays against British fur trading posts on Hudson's Bay, but the British foothold was never broken because I received no support from France. Now, I hope to establish a settlement in the lower Mississippi, where LaSalle failed years ago. This time, I feel certain I will have the king's blessing and his money.
But most astounding is the fact that this new world ruffian has actually brought one of the horrid savages, oh, he's racist, with him into the very halls of your side. Excuse me. The creature's crude attempts at our language are ridiculous, and only by the exercise of extreme restraint was I able to keep from laughing in the man's face. Wow, that guy's a dick. Same thing.
These people are all so strange, and most of them are fat. They would not survive long in my world.
Haha. I'm pretty good at my history. Yes. Oh, it's all the mirrors.
If I may give you a little warning, mon ami, like all busy thoroughfares, there are thieves and pickpockets about. If someone bumps into you, or if you bump into someone else, you may expect the worst.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's it for this spot. And this is actually a good place to end part 2. So let's see if anything new happens when we decide to leave.
And it is difficult to believe the necklace has been missing all these years with no one knowing. Typical of things around here. Sophie Lemoyne was the Dauphine's closest friend, and no one gives it a second thought when she is entrusted with such precious jewels. Zip! The necklace comes off the Dauphine's neck, and zoot! Sophie goes out the palace door.
Your pardon, madame, but you speak of my kinswoman. Sophie Lemoyne would not be capable of the treachery you describe.
Ah, don't be a fool. The saints themselves would be tempted by gems such as these. But you, monsieur, are newly arrived at Versailles. Perhaps your ignorance should be excused.
You are too kind, madame.
But of course, monsieur.
Alright, so there we have it with that bit. Not much to be learned in the hall. Other than, well, I guess the lace guy, I believe, is selling his lace handkerchiefs to one of the people that we want to look at. Forgot his name already. But that's it for this part. I'll be putting out the next part in about 4 days. Please give a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think. Shadow Moose out.